To work locally, we'll work with text files, and we want to write code in these text files which is easy for us to write and to understand. And for this we'll use an IDE, an integrated development environment, which is a tool, basically a text editor, with a lot of additional features, which make writing code more fun and easier, because we'll get suggestions, errors will be shown to us automatically, we get different colors for keywords and so on. It's more fun to write code with an IDE. Theoretically, you can use a normal text editor like the one shipping with your operating system though. For this course, I'll use Visual Studio Code. It's a free IDE and you can download it from code.visualstudio.com. Make sure to choose your version for your operating system and simply download and install it. There should be nothing complicated about that. Now, there also is an alternative which I want to bring to your attention. It's called PyCharm, and you can simply Google for it and click on that link you should find there. And whilst there is a paid version of PyCharm, there also is a free version of it. You simply have to scroll down a bit and then pick that PyCharm Community Edition. You can download that for free and use it for free. And this is a different IDE, also bringing the advantages like color coding and so on, which you can also try out. However, I'll go with Visual Studio Code. Once you installed Visual Studio Code, you can open a folder which you should simply create in your Mac Finder or Windows Explorer, where you will store your project. So this blockchain project. Simply create a new folder somewhere on your machine for that, an empty folder. Then you pick Open Folder and simply navigate to that folder. Here I selected my Python blockchain folder and I'll click Open. And now this opens the folder in the IDE. Let me hide this here. And now if your installation looks a bit differently, I simply entered presentation mode here and removed the toolbar at the bottom, for example. And what I also did is I switched the theme to dark. You can do that from the menu by clicking on Preferences, Color Theme. There you have the choice of different built-in themes, and I simply choose dark plus this default dark theme. This is my setup here. Now to work with Python, we also want to install some extensions that make that a bit easier. For this, you can simply go to View and then Extensions, or if you didn't remove that sidebar, you'll also have an extension buttons here on the left, but View Extensions will always work. And in there, you can search for Python. Now, I already installed it, but this first Python package here is the one I recommend installing. As I said, I have it installed, but you'll have an install button here. Simply click it and restart the IDE when prompted to do so. Now, additionally, in this course, and this is totally optional, I'll use the material icon theme here, which simply changes the file icons which will be displayed in this project. You can also install that, but again, this is purely optional. The Python extension is one you should install though. Thereafter, you can go back to View Explorer. Now in here, you can create a new file by clicking this New File button, or a new folder with that button, or with Command N. And here I'll add my blockchain file. The important part is, since we're working with Python, it has to end with .py. This turns it into a Python file. Now let me quickly switch to my other icon theme. Yeah, I prefer that. So this is my blockchain Python file. And this is the file with which I'll work for the next lectures. Now, obviously, you might be wondering, how do we execute that file now? And the answer is from within your terminal. In Visual Studio Code, you can also go to View, Integrated Terminal, or use the shortcut which is displayed there. And this will open your normal operating system command prompt or terminal, automatically navigated into your project folder. And there you can run Python, and then a blank, and then the name of the file, like blockchain.py in this case, and it'll execute that file. And in this case, it does nothing because there's nothing in the file. But if I were to, for example, use print, a function which outputs something to the console, if you're not using the REPL, you'll have to explicitly tell Python to output something. So if you use print and you output 2 plus 2, for example, and you save the file, don't forget that. If you run the command again, you see 4 down here. So this is how we work with files and how we work with Visual Studio Code as our IDE. With that, let's continue. And I mentioned print is a function, right? And we saw that append and pop function too. So let's dive into functions next, because this will allow us to create a better blockchain.